Hello and welcome to yet another fresh edition of the program Back to Farm on your first agricultural television station in the nation capital, where we tell you the need why we must embrace agriculture. Today on the program, we'll be looking at agrotourism as a catalyst to boost agriculture in Nigeria. Agrotourism in Nigeria has shown to be a workable strategy for both rural rehabilitation and sustainable tourism expansion. This shows how agrotourism must support environmentally conscious travel practices and assist rural communities in addressing socio-economic challenges and boosting agriculture using empirical data and proven research. This program examines the key components of agrotourism in Nigeria, certain including farm stays, agrotourism activities, and culinary tourism. Stay tuned.
This concept, I believe, is an opportunity for us to also enable the environment and encourage the young ones to come in and participate. And I believe this opportunity and this message is for them. Agritourism encompasses a range of activities including farm tours, agricultural festivals, farm stays, educational programs that connect visitors and the agricultural landscape into the agricultural world, and activities relating to agricultural tourism ranges from all the things I have said, and it depends on the variety from one place to the other. So it's a lot of things. Over the decades, the concept and practice of agritourism has spread over the globe, and it is practiced in many countries such as Italy, United States of America, UK, Germany, France, Spain, Poland, Malaysia, Indonesia, and in Africa, most of the southern and eastern African countries are very also advanced in this. Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, and the like. And it might interest you to know that the kind of fun some people want to look at today is to have gateways. You just go to one farm and you get lost and at least unwind yourself. And this concept is also evolving even here in the FCT. I'm sure while it is not going to be proper, I start calling some names, but I want to assure you that we know there are such farms that are evolving where families go there to have their weekends and see how agriculture looks like. So it is an evolution that is taking place right before our eyes. So agritourism presents a unique opportunity to combine aspects of agricultural tourism to agricultural industry. It means our landscape is changing. Definitely it will be fun if children, for example, will see a place where cocoa beans is being processed from beginning to the end and they are getting chocolate at the other end. Those are the kind of fun children would like to be part of, and these are things that are possible under the concept of agritourism. I would therefore want to thank all the previous speakers who have given goodwill message. I listened to many of them carefully, and how they relate all of these things to the issue of food security. Now, food security is a collective responsibility of all of us. When you produce half a ton of food in your backyard, you have contributed to food security, because it means you are not going to the market to make a demand. Therefore, you are reducing the pressure on the demand in the market. In those days, the agricultural science program in various schools was done such that some schools actually were using products of their school farm to feed themselves. So, all we are trying to say here is that the current challenge of food insecurity in the country, where the price of food have gone up, is a function of supply. And I think where we have massive supply, it is bound to drop down the price. And I want to call on all of you that for us in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, we are more than prepared to create the enabling environment for meaningful participation in the agricultural value chain across all the crops and commodities in the sector. Let me emphasize that the ministry is working with relevant stakeholders to support agribusiness development, because we believe agriculture should be treated as a business. Today, just yesterday, we were having an engagement on the cocoa development in the country, where we noted, as we speak today, cocoa in the international market is $13,000 per ton. But if you go to the states, about 17 states that are cocoa producing, you will see many young people not taking advantage of this. We are about to reverse such kind of trend, because our belief is that when you are ignorant, you will wallow in poverty. And we have to remove the ignorance by providing solid information, by leading people to where technology exists. And so, fortunately, we are here in the headquarters of the research system in agriculture in Nigeria, the ERCN. So I want to assure you that we are aware of the role of technology, and we are doing all we can to make sure that we improve on availability of technology to support farming across many strata of our society. Today, you can produce in a can, in a box, so many food items that you can eat. And I believe these are the part of the fun that we need to create, and that is the beauty around the agritourism concept. We are resolute to deliver enabling policies and programs in line with the ministry's deliverables as assigned by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And one of the core deliverables is for us to guarantee food security. And in guaranteeing food security, we need every area of support to be given. And I believe with the concept of agritourism, a lot of people's attention will be drawn to what they can produce and how they can produce and how they can also process, so that Nigerians, everywhere they find themselves, will have access to food at an affordable rate. On a final note, when the Executive Secretary mentioned the issue of grains or peas, yes, we have a lot of prices. But our belief here is that if we expand production in agriculture and increase area of production, idle hands that are easily being dragged into criminality and criminal acts will definitely not be joining that kind of gang. And we can see criminality and all this insecurity coming down drastically. We are committed, and we want to charge Nigerian youth to take the opportunity offered by the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as we want to deploy technology in every ramification: digital, chemical, biological, chemical, mechanical, to make sure that we improve the productivity of farm operations. We've gotten your message. It's no longer news. You don't want Hoa cutlass. I don't want either. Even though I actually use Hoa cutlass to do my farming. But definitely, this generation, I agree with you, we have to cut it out. And in cutting it out, I want to assure you that right now, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is sitting right on top of the agenda of providing mechanization for Nigeria through many programs. We have the agreement memorandum of understanding with John Deere, so that we'll have access to tractors over the next 5 years, a target of 10,000 tractors with service centers across. We have the Green Imperative program also that is in the works, targeting the large supply of agricultural tractors also and other mechanization equipment with service centers. We have the Greener Hope, mechanization program also. And we also have another one as a program with Belarus to also supply a large catch of mechanical devices, tractors, and the like to support mechanization. Because the facts are against us. 0.001% 0.027 horsepower per hectare is the current mechanization level in Nigeria. That is unacceptable. We want to reverse this because the African average is 1.7 horsepower per hectare, global average is 2.5 horsepower per hectare, and we believe Nigeria is in the eyes of the globe. Why can't we go for 2.5 or even 3? That is the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as far as mechanization is concerned. And I want to assure you that we are working very hard on this. Now, with respect to the agri-tourism, the president said this is the first time Nigeria is celebrating, and he is partnering with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. The approval has previously been given as endorsement, and the SGF also on behalf of the federal government endorsed it. So what I want to assure you is that going forward, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture will see to the establishment of a National Agri-Tourism Development Committee. And this year, even before Ambassador came to us, in our briefing last year, when we came on board, we agreed that we are going to promote the development of agri-tourism. And so agri-tourism is captured in the budget 2024 of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. And so our target before the next year's celebration will be that we need to develop a framework and standard operation guidelines for agri-tourism in Nigeria. So I want to indicate that stakeholders in this endeavor will include the Federal Ministry of Tourism. And while we are seated here, I had cause to call the Minister of Tourism, Her Excellency Mrs. Lola Adejo, who is currently in a program with the First Lady, Her Excellency Oloremi Tinubu, CON. So for that reason, she's unable to be here personally. She asked me to send an apology. She has directed the staff may join us if he's able to catch up with the event. But be that as it may, that will be one of the key partnering ministries. The others will be Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Federal Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, and then Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. Of course, the big one, private sector, the drivers. You are not clapping for yourself. I thought the private sector is more in the hall here. So what I want to say is that the model will be federal government enabled but private sector-led agri-tourism development in Nigeria. Because when you do that, you will be creating a more sustainable system that will ensure that everybody does what is supposed to be done. While we keep our eyes on the standards, on the regulations that will come along with it. I have no doubt that this occasion will spur ample opportunities to strengthen the agribusiness sector and promote agricultural, tourism, and market development, which will ultimately contribute to the 8-point agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which include inclusivity, job creation and economic growth, access to capital, of course, among others. But let me say that we are confident And from now till next year, when the Agri-Tourism Day will be celebrated, I want to believe it will be celebrated in a very big way. And sorry, your premises cannot carry us next year. We will be so big that we cannot carry us. But this does not mean we will not thank you very much for providing today for us to have today. So finally, I want to say on behalf of my colleague and brother, distinguished Senator Abubakar Kyari, CON, and my humble self, on this note, ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege to declare the year 2024 World Agri-Tourism Day celebration.
Assistant to President of Coastal Matters and Tourism. As we all know, tourism is the key heart of the nation, and we need you to be good ambassadors of tourism. If we look at it, agriculture also is very key and priority to each and every one of us. And as my big brother, the Honorable Minister of State Agriculture and Food Security has said earlier, we should try to key and abide with the points and the key rules of these particular programs, which will benefit and which we are also benefiting, and which will also channel for our future reference to support the renewal of agenda of Mr. President. Thank you.
Our dear Senator, Louis Sabri of Lola, the CON, and I want to stand on because of the long protocol, I want to stand on the existing protocols as earlier humbly listed by the Honorable Minister. First of all, I want to give glory to God Almighty, who has made today a reality, and who has made it possible for us to be alive today and to witness this event. And I want to especially thank our Honorable Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, who through his approval, we are witnessing and we are here today. Our Honorable is so passionate about developing agritourism in Nigeria. I remember when the matter first came to us concerning the ministry to host the yearly agritourism day, because they had not been hosted by the ministry. When we treated the file and was passed to him, he graciously approved and magnanimously approved that henceforth the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, and in collaboration with World Agricultural Organization, will be hosting it yearly. So I want to thank you for that approval. And through that way, the mayor has called into action. He called a meeting, committee, presentation, and a lot of it concerning the agrotourism. And when the letter was written to the president to study the agrotourism concept, the president directed that the ministry should look at the concept and to advise appropriately. It's also fall on under the leadership of the Honorable Minister of State. He was the one that represented the minister to study the concept of the agrotourism village. So we also want to thank you for that. And when this event is coming today, he was the one also assigned to share the occasion. He has been passionate about it. And through him, we have got the agrotourism listed in this year's budget. The federal government has recognized it, the National Assembly has recognized it, and will be a continuous nation. We want to thank the Honorable Minister for all that he has done, and he has a lot of things he wants to also see that is delivered concerning this. You know, the Honorable Minister has given an heated power clap. I want us to return back to him with a power clap.
The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria (ARCN) coordinates the activities of research institutes and is responsible for supervision, regulation, coordination of research activities and programs of higher institutions in Nigeria. And Professor Hamidu Shaributu, since assumption as Executive Secretary of ARCN in April 2020, has solidified the transformation of agriculture in Nigeria through strategic and meaningful execution of research findings for improvement of the agricultural sector.
The rubber tree has two major outputs that are useful in the industrial sector as well as other uses. These include the white liquid substance tapped from the rubber tree, which is called latex, and the rubber seeds that are produced from the rubber trees. After the liquid is tapped from the rubber, it can be sold in its liquid form or processed into rubber sheet. To achieve standard of processing of rubber liquid into a more profitable form, the Rubber Research Institute of Nigeria has a rubber latex processing section.
Here is a pilot plant set up by the Rubber Research Institute to encourage, through demonstration, the value chain addition of our produce.
Okay.
Usually, when you tap rubber from the field, as I'm very, very sure you guys have seen earlier today, it is processed into raw materials that can be consumed by would-be manufacturers who are interested in using natural rubber as a base raw material.
Since then, Professor Shaributu has operated as visionary captain by restoring the council's glory with the first ever agricultural television and radio station in Nigeria, with well-equipped studios parading state-of-the-art equipment.
The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria also has a brand new electronic library to further promote research and visualizations of deep thoughts on agricultural development in Nigeria.
The museum, located in the Senator Abdullahi Adamu Center, is an agricultural museum saddled with the responsibility of keeping records of agricultural findings, discoveries, researches for continuity and history purposes.
The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria is wearing a new look under the stewardship of Professor Garba Hamidu Shaributu, who says, "Alone, I am nothing, but together, I am something." ARCN,
promoting agriculture. On that note, we come to the end of the program Back to Farm. My name is Joshua Ishaya. Thank you for being a part of it. Bye for now.